Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Johnson's, and as a geriatrician, I've dedicated my career to the health and well-being of older adults. I understand the unique joys and challenges that come with this stage of life, and that includes navigating relationships. Today, I want to talk about a significant decision many of you might be considering: remarriage later in life. It's a topic that requires careful thought, and I'm here to offer some insights based on my years of experience helping seniors thrive. Let's get started. Have you ever considered getting remarried but wondered if it's truly the right decision? Marriage after 60 is a whole different ballgame compared to when you were younger, and there are some realities folks often miss until it's too late. Whether you've been on your own for a while, recently divorced, or widowed, remarriage brings unique challenges that can affect your finances, relationships, and overall happiness in ways you might not have even thought about. In this video, we're going to explore 5 essential truths you absolutely need to know before remarrying after 60. These insights might just shift how you think about love, commitment, and long-term security at this stage of your life. Too often, people rush into remarriage without really thinking about how it could impact their future, and later on, they find themselves dealing with unexpected stress and complications. But when you're armed with the right knowledge, you can make the best decision for yourself, one that brings fulfillment, peace, and stability. So stick with me until the end, because understanding these 5 truths could save you from unnecessary heartache and make sure any new relationship you enter is truly right for you. Whether you're seriously considering remarriage soon or just exploring the idea, you'll want to hear this. Let's get started. Number 1. Financial realities change. After 60, one of the biggest surprises folks face when remarrying later in life is the financial impact. Many assume getting married again is all about love and companionship. But the truth is, marriage is also a legal and financial commitment. If you're not careful, it can affect your retirement savings, Social Security benefits, pensions, and even what you plan to leave to your children or loved ones. The last thing you want is to go into a marriage thinking it'll simplify life, only to find out it's complicated your financial future in ways you never saw coming. A major point to consider is how remarriage affects Social Security benefits. Many people don't realize that if you're receiving benefits based on a former spouse's work record, those benefits could be reduced or even stop altogether once you remarry. This can be a real shock, especially if you depend on that income to maintain your lifestyle. Also, pensions and survivor benefits often have rules, and some can be voided if you remarry. If you or your partner are getting pension payments, it's really important to check the fine print before making any decisions. Beyond government benefits, there is also retirement savings and estate planning. When you marry, your financial picture isn't just about you anymore. It now includes another person's assets, debts, and spending habits. Even if you and your new spouse keep your bank accounts separate, state laws can affect how assets are divided if you divorce or when one of you passes away. And if you have children or grandchildren, you'll want to think about how a new marriage affects their inheritance. Many people assume they can just leave their assets to their kids as planned, but remarriage often changes the legal rules about property and wealth distribution. Take Robert, for example, a 72-year-old who remarried after being widowed. He always thought his children would inherit his estate, but after remarrying, he found out his new wife had legal claims to his assets, meaning his children might end up getting less than he originally intended. He had to have some tough talks and make legal changes to make sure everyone he cared about was protected. If you're thinking about remarriage, please take the time to talk to a financial advisor or an estate planner. Make sure you really understand how it will impact your finances, your retirement, and any assets you plan to pass down. These conversations might not feel romantic, but they are crucial for protecting your future. Number 2, family dynamics can get complicated. When you remarry later in life, you're not just blending 2 lives, you're blending family histories and expectations. While love brings 2 people together, family relationships can bring in complexities you might not expect. Unlike younger couples who are building a life from scratch, folks over 60 often come into a new marriage with adult children, grandchildren, and decades of family history. These relationships don't always blend as smoothly as you might hope. One of the biggest challenges is how adult children react to a new marriage. Even if they want you to be happy, they might struggle with feeling loyal to your previous spouse, or worry about how this new relationship will affect family traditions, finances, or inheritance. Some might welcome your new partner with open arms, while others might feel resentful, suspicious, or even concerned for your well-being. These emotions are completely natural, but if they're not handled carefully, they can create lasting tension that affects not just your marriage, but your whole family. Beyond children, relationships with grandchildren can also change. If you've been the main grandparent figure in their lives for years, bringing in a new spouse can feel like a disruption to them. Some might embrace it, while others might need time to adjust. The same goes for your new spouse's family. If they have children or grandchildren of their own, blending traditions and expectations can take patience and understanding. Another thing to think about is how remarriage affects inheritance and financial matters. It's not unusual for children to worry that a new spouse might change existing wills, alter financial plans, or even get a share of what they thought was meant for them. And while money might not be the main thing in your new relationship, it's often a hidden concern for family members. Some conflicts come up not because of greed, but because children want to make sure their parents' legacy is honored the way it was originally intended. Take Susan, for example. At 68, she remarried after being single for over a decade. She thought her children would be happy for her, but instead, she found herself navigating awkward conversations about inheritance, holiday traditions, and even where she would live. While she knew her kids loved her, she quickly realized her new marriage needed open talks and reassurances to keep harmony in the family. If you're considering remarriage, take time to talk with your family. Be open about your plans. Listen to their concerns, and set clear expectations about what will and won't change. It might take time for everyone to adjust, but dealing with these concerns early on can prevent misunderstandings and hard feelings later. The key is to approach these talks with patience, honesty, and reassurance that your decision is about finding companionship while still valuing the relationships you've already built over the years. If you're still watching and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you do, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us keep creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move on. Number 3. Emotional expectations are different at this stage. Relationships look different now than they did decades ago. When you were younger, marriage was often about building a life together, raising children, buying a home, and growing careers. But after 60, priorities change. Marriage isn't necessarily about starting from scratch. It's more about companionship, emotional support, and keeping your independence while sharing life with someone. This shift in what marriage means is something many people don't fully think about before remarrying, and it can lead to unexpected challenges. One of the biggest differences is how much independence each person brings into the marriage. By the time you're in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, you've already set up routines, habits, and a way of living that suits you. You probably have your own home, personal hobbies, and a daily rhythm that feels comfortable. A new marriage brings another person's habits, lifestyle preferences, and expectations into your world, and that adjustment isn't always easy. Some people expect remarriage to be as simple as finding the right partner, but really, it takes careful navigating of boundaries, personal space, and individual identity. Unlike younger couples who might be building financial security together, marriages later in life often involve two people who are already financially stable and emotionally self-sufficient. This means the reasons for getting together are different. Love, companionship, and shared experiences become more important than career achievements or financial goals. However, this also means both partners need to be clear about what they expect, how much time they want to spend together, how they handle disagreements, and how they maintain their personal independence while still nurturing the relationship. Another thing to think about is past emotional baggage. If you've lost a spouse or gone through a tough divorce, those memories and emotions don't just vanish when you remarry. You and your new partner both bring decades of history with you, past relationships, family connections, and deeply ingrained ideas about love and commitment. This isn't a bad thing, but it does mean being emotionally open, patient, and understanding is essential. The way you communicate, show affection, or handle disagreements might be shaped by past experiences, and learning to navigate those differences is key to a successful second marriage. Take Harold, for example. At 75, he found love again after being widowed for several years, but he didn't expect how different this new relationship would feel compared to his first marriage. His late wife had been his partner for decades, and the way they worked as a couple was deeply ingrained in him. His new wife, on the other hand, had been divorced for many years and valued her independence in ways he hadn't experienced before. It took time for them to find their rhythm, to balance closeness with personal space, to communicate without comparing the past, and to truly embrace the unique dynamic of their marriage. If you're thinking about remarrying, ask yourself, what do you really want out of this relationship? Are you looking for companionship without too much change to your daily routine? Do you want to share a home, or would you rather keep separate living spaces? Are you emotionally ready for the realities of blending two established lives? The answers to these questions can help make sure your next marriage is built on mutual understanding, not unmet expectations. Number 4. Legal considerations matter more than you think. Marriage isn't just an emotional commitment. It's a legal contract. And when you remarry after 60, the legal parts of that contract can be much more complex than they were when you were younger. Many people assume love alone is enough to make a marriage work, but without understanding the legal implications, you could face unexpected problems down the road. From prenuptial agreements to medical decision-making rights, there are critical legal matters that should be addressed before you say, "I do." One of the first things to consider is how remarriage affects your estate planning. When you marry, your spouse may automatically gain certain legal rights to your assets, even if you intended to leave them to your children, grandchildren, or other loved ones. Without a clear plan, your estate could be divided in ways you never intended. This is why many people choose to update their wills or set up trusts before remarrying, making sure their assets are distributed as they wish. Another important legal factor is medical decision-making. If you become ill or unable to make decisions, who would have the right to make medical choices for you? In many cases, a spouse is automatically given priority over adult children or other family members. This can cause tension, especially if your new spouse and your children have different ideas about your care. Setting up advance directives or a medical power of attorney can make your wishes clear and prevent potential conflicts before they happen. Prenuptial agreements are another tool that can provide clarity and protection for both partners. While some people hesitate to bring up a prenuptial agreement because they worry it might seem unromantic, the truth is, it can help prevent misunderstandings and make sure both of you are entering the marriage with clear expectations. A well-written prenuptial agreement can outline how assets, debts, and financial responsibilities will be handled, reducing the risk of disputes later on. Take Eleanor, for example. At 67, she fell in love and was excited about remarrying, but she also had significant assets she wanted to leave to her children. She and her fiancé had an honest conversation and decided to create a prenuptial agreement that clearly defined their financial boundaries. This not only gave her peace of mind, but also reassured her children that their inheritance was secure. Legal matters aren't always fun to talk about, but they are necessary. If you're considering remarriage, it's wise to sit down with an attorney who specializes in estate planning and family law. Having these discussions early on can prevent confusion and stress later, letting you focus on what really matters, building a fulfilling and secure relationship. If you're still watching and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you do, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us keep creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 5. The definition of happiness changes with age. As we get older, our idea of happiness changes. When we were younger, marriage often meant building a future, raising a family, getting financially secure, or creating a shared life from the ground up. But after 60, happiness isn't so much about building. It's about maintaining, enjoying, and finding fulfillment in the life you've already created. This means before you remarry, it's really important to ask yourself, does this relationship fit with the kind of happiness I truly want at this stage of life? Many people assume getting married again will automatically bring them joy. But the truth is, happiness in later years comes from different places than it used to. For some, it's about companionship and sharing everyday life with someone. For others, it's about keeping their independence while having a partner for special moments. And for some, it's about keeping their lifestyle and not having to compromise on long-held routines and habits. The key is to understand what happiness looks like for you now, not what it meant 30 or 40 years ago. One of the biggest mistakes people make when remarrying after 60 is thinking love alone will cure loneliness. While companionship is wonderful, it's important to remember that personal fulfillment comes from within. If you're not happy on your own, marriage won't necessarily change that. In fact, going into a marriage expecting it to complete you can lead to disappointment, especially if the realities of sharing your life with someone feel more restrictive than you expected. Another thing to think about is lifestyle compatibility. At this point in life, you likely have well-established routines, how you spend your mornings, how you like to travel, even how you handle your social life. If your new partner has a very different way of living, it could cause friction instead of happiness. Some people are more spontaneous, while others prefer structure. Some enjoy quiet evenings at home, while others thrive in social settings. If you and your potential spouse aren't on the same page with these things, it's worth thinking about how much you're willing to adjust, and if those adjustments would really make you happier in the long run. Take Frank, for example. At 72, he met someone wonderful and quickly remarried, thinking companionship would fill the void from his previous marriage. But as time went on, he realized his new wife had very different expectations. She wanted to travel a lot, while he preferred staying close to home. She was very social, while he cherished quiet time. While they cared for each other, they struggled to find common ground. And Frank often felt like he had lost some of the freedom and comfort he had valued when he was single. Before you remarry, take time to think about what truly makes you happy. Do you want a traditional marriage where you share everything? Or would you prefer companionship with personal space? Would you be happier living separately, but having a committed relationship? There's no right or wrong answer, only what feels right for you. The most important thing is to make sure any decision you make supports your long-term happiness, rather than disrupting the peace and fulfillment you've already built in your life. Final thoughts. As we wrap up, let's take a moment to think about what we've talked about. Remarrying after 60 can be a beautiful thing, but it's also a decision that comes with real-life considerations, things that too many people overlook until they're already in the thick of it. From financial matters to family dynamics, emotional expectations, legal implications, and your own personal definition of happiness, these are all things that deserve careful thought before making such a big life change. The truth is, marriage at this stage of life isn't about following old rules. It's about making a choice that truly works for you. Some people find deep joy in remarrying, while others realize they're happiest keeping their independence or exploring other kinds of companionship. The most important thing is that whatever path you choose, it fits with your values, your lifestyle, and your long-term well-being. My advice to everyone considering remarriage later in life is to proceed with both your heart and your head. Take the time for honest self-reflection and open communication with your potential partner. Discuss your expectations, your financial situations, and your wishes for the future. It's also wise to seek advice from professionals, like financial advisors and attorneys, to ensure you're making informed decisions. Remember, this is a significant step, and taking the time to consider all aspects will greatly increase your chances of finding lasting happiness. I understand that navigating these issues can be complex and sometimes overwhelming. If you're facing specific challenges or have questions about remarriage after 60, please share your concerns in the comments below. I'll do my best to offer guidance and support based on my experience as a geriatrician. Your stories and questions can also help others who are going through similar situations. And finally, if you found this video helpful, please give it a like and share it with your friends and family who might be considering remarriage. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our future content on healthy aging and well-being. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to hearing from you in the comments.